everyone. I know it's been like what, 7, 8 months now. I This is definitely an overdue video for you guys. Thank you everyone for who was ever staying up with me and watching my videos. But I'm just going to show you my what I call my everyday no fuss, everyday kind of makeup tutorial that's very good for work, for school, or for just something you want to put on just so you look decent. This is nothing over the top. This is just a very simple everyday look. I like to have a really no fuss in the morning, just put on my makeup, look decent. Although definitely there are more than one occasion, more than a few occasions where I definitely put on some nice eyeshadow, eyeliner, all that sort of stuff. This is just something very basic that I've been doing, especially for work and stuff where you really don't need a lot of makeup, especially in the workplaces that I work at. So I hope you guys do enjoy. If you have any questions or any comments, please go ahead and put that below in the comment box. But I hope you guys enjoy. Okay, I'm gonna get started now. Just so you know, my cat is sitting on my lap right now, so you might hear a little bit of purring. And if you do see her tail or something, she's probably just getting up and walking out. So don't feel alarmed if you see a random tail in the screen. But let's go ahead and get started. The first thing I usually like to do, I like to put a headband in my hair just to take out the hair out of my face, just so that I have nothing in my face, no makeup to get in my hair. So you can definitely do that. If you don't necessarily like using that, that's totally fine as well. The first thing I usually like to do to get started is using my Urban Decay, the All Nighter Long Lasting Makeup Setting Spray. And I just go ahead and spray this all over my face. And then as it's drying, I go ahead and prepare my next 3 steps. The first, well actually the second thing I usually do is I take my Urban Decay Pore Perfecting Complexion Primer Potion and I go ahead and just pop that onto the back of my hand, just a little dot like that. You don't need a lot for your face, which is really good. And then, right after that, I usually use my Eve Pearl Anti-Shine Mattifying Gel. And this I also just go ahead and pop to the back of my hand. Just a slight dot like that, so nothing much. And the third thing I put on my hand is the Benefit Stay Don't Stray, and I really like this. It helps to make sure my my eyeshadow, if I use any, and also the concealer underneath my eyes to stay put. So I put this just on the back of my hand, again, just like in a small dot, just like that. And by now, usually the setting spray has dried. So what I do is I usually just take the first dot that I put, so that's that Urban Decay, that Pore Perfecting Primer Potion, and I just take, just one of my fingers, go ahead and start and put that onto one of my cheeks, and then I go ahead and spread this around my entire face. Then the next thing I do use is that Eve Pearl Mattifying Gel, and I use this generally if I'm going to be using a cream foundation or if it's during the summer and it's really hot out. And today I'm going to be using the cream foundation, so that's why I'm going to be using that Eve Pearl Mattifying Gel. So I just do the same thing. I just take a finger, kind of just push it into the dot that I put there, and then I just go ahead and put this all over my face as well. Now again, you don't have to do all of these steps. These are just some steps that have worked for me very well. You don't have to use the setting spray and the primer, and then you don't have to use mattifying gel, especially if your skin is dry. I definitely don't recommend using any sort of mattifying gel, but this is just the way I do it. And this is just a recommendation for any of those who do have oily skin and want to know how to prime their face very well. So all that said, I'm going to continue to the eyes, and I'm going to be using that Benefit Stay Don't Stray, and I'm going to take my finger again, and I'm just going to put this underneath both my eyes first, and then I'm going to place them on top of my lids. Okay, so I'm done priming my eyes, and the one thing I really do like about this Benefit Stay Don't Stray is that it also somewhat conceals, you know, a little bit of the dark circles that I have, a little bit of discoloration on my lid. So that's also why I really like using this. So that is definitely a big must. Now the next thing I usually like to do, I have another thing by Eve Pearl. This is their Salmon Concealer and Treatment. And this is a great diffuser, especially if you have any scarring or acne, anything that you like to cover up. This goes great for dark, you know, circles underneath your eyes. I mostly use this for my dark circles and my acne. I have a little bit here. So you like to cover that up. So it just looks like this. It's just a very salmon kind of orange color. But I just take my finger again, not using too many brushes in the morning. I really don't like to fuss. That's why this is my no fuss makeup, everyday makeup video pretty much. So I'm just going to take this and then I'm just going to go ahead and place that underneath both my eyes, and I'm going to cover up any other areas I feel like needs a little bit more of a coverage. Alright, so I'm done covering up all the areas that I feel like need to be concealed. This is actually really nice because this is very lightweight. It's actually somewhat sheer, so you're not plopping on a whole lot of concealer or anything like that. This really is just to kind of even out the skin color. I mean, it's a little bit of an orangey color, but once you put on your foundation, you won't see that color. It will not affect your foundation whatsoever. So that's what I really like about it. And as you could tell, it definitely covered up all of that purpley redness that I had over my acne. It definitely helps with dark under circles, as you can see there. You can barely even see. I mean, you see just a little bit, but really nothing much. And plus, I can put foundation on too, which is actually my next step. So I'm just going to take my, which I believe is pronounced Curara, Curara, something like that. This is just a cream stick concealer. It just looks like this. And I take this as it is with the mirror. I put a couple stripes on my cheek, like this. Both cheeks, actually. Put a little V on my forehead, like that. Stripe down my nose. A little bit on the bridge, well, on top of my lip. I guess that's what you can call it. And then a little V on my chin. And then I just go ahead and put that away. And this, I just use my fingers. You can use a brush if you like, but I'm not going to mess with brushes because I don't have a lot of time in the morning to dig through my stuff, find a good brush. So I just use my fingers and blend this all out and make sure it's all nice and even. Okay, so I just finished with my foundation. As you can tell, it goes on very smoothly, it evens out the skin very nicely, and I really like this foundation. That's why I've been using it almost every day now for about maybe a month or so. I switch foundations every so often, depending on the weather. My skin gets lighter, my skin gets darker sometimes. It's just depending, but I really have been loving this foundation so far. So sometimes I feel like I need to go in again with a little bit of that, the corrector. And if you need to, definitely feel free to. This time I don't use as much, so I just go ahead and dot just a bit on the areas I feel like need to be concealed a little bit more. So just very simple like that. And then I go ahead and cover that up with a little bit more of my foundation. And that should be good. Here we go. Alright, so now I am completely done with my foundation, and now I can move on to my bronzer and my blush. And the bronzer and my blush I've been using every day for maybe about a few months now. Hi kitty. Here's my cat again. Anyways, the bronzer and blush that I've been using for the past 3-4 months, almost every day, is my NARS, both the Laguna and the Orgasm blush. The Laguna bronzer and the Orgasm blush. And these two I've absolutely been loving because I've been able to wear them with almost every single makeup look that I've been wanting to wear, to either to work or to school or just going out. So I just take my angled blush brush, and this I got at Sephora. You can get any old bronzer brush or blush brush or whatever you want to use. You go ahead and just swirl it into that Laguna bronzer there. And then I start from the back where the nearest to my ear for my cheek, and then I just go ahead and brush down. And I also go ahead and put some bronzer up on the temple, my temple, on the side of my face, and then along the jawline as well. Make sure you blend that in very well. And that's about even. Now, there is a shadow on this side of my face. It looks darker here, but it really is, both sides are even. And then I just go ahead and move on to my blush. So then I just take, this is actually the Real Techniques brush by, you guys might know her, Samantha Chapman. She makes amazing brushes. And this is her multitask brush, and I use this as my blush brush. And I just take my blush, and I kind of just swivel my brush into the powder, and I kind of just tap it on to the up above on my cheek, not exactly on the bronzer, just right above that. So it gives a nice little bit of color, but nothing too bright. And that's it for my blush. And then I'm done with my entire base, and then I just move on to my eyes. And usually if I'm just going to go to work, I usually just put on a mascara. I don't usually fuss too much with eyeshadow. And this mascara is Hypno Style Lashes, and this is by Lancome. This is actually the sample size, but I've been using it and it's been amazing. The brush applicator looks like this, so it's kind of like a very long triangle shape. Basically, it's so you can get into the inner corners of your eye and onto the bottom lashes pretty easily. So I just use this, and then I just add on mascara to where I just put like a one coat of mascara on just about, and kind of feather my eyelashes out and kind of give kind of like that doll effect. Alright, so that is it for my mascara. So just a really nice kind of like light mascara. I don't need anything too big or too thick for work. So that's basically it for my mascara. And then the last thing I do is just my lips, and I just take either a lip gloss or lipstick or a lip balm or anything just really appropriate enough for work. And this is actually the Smashbox's lip enhancing gloss, and this is in the color Pop, and it's just a nice pink color. It's looking kind of purple on the camera, but it's a nice just pink, everyday kind of color. Just comes with an applicator like this. And then I just finish this off. And that's it. You can always use a darker color or a nice, a really bright color, especially since the eyes are very neutral. It's just mascara, and the cheeks are very nice and neutral. You can use a dark color if you like. But since I'm going to work, I'm just going to be using a very nice light sheer kind of color for my lips. And that's basically all I do for my, kind of everyday look. If I'm going to school or going out, I'll put on like a nice eyeshadow with, maybe a little bit of bright color, sometimes a neutral. But that is it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you guys soon. Bye!